What I'm saying is the bike was the place that I went that all that disappeared. All the noise stopped and I just got lost in it. And I'm glad I kept going, because in that next year, like being able to dive into riding that way, like really helped me. I never wanted to stop. I can see why my family might have wanted to. There's two things that pop up on my Instagram feed all the time. And one of them is the goon riding video from early on, and the other one is the battle with Stu. I can honestly say that was one of the funnest races I ever raced. We battled hard. The second moto we battled, but the first moto, it was like...
It was on.
It was on.
Gypsy.
It's probably weird just going into pro, like to a pro career as well. Like, and you guys, like that was probably one of the craziest graduating classes, or like around that time, you know, and it was like big contracts, big money, super young kids, like moving to California away from parents and stuff for the first time. Like, I mean, I feel like things get done a little bit differently nowadays, but that was a pretty crazy era to be a part of, and you like survived it maybe the best out of all of them.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, we all came in kind of like at the height. I mean, the numbers and stuff for contracts for like a select few riders are kind of back to that height, but money was like just pouring in that time, you know, 06, 07, guys were making lots of money. You know, I signed my first deal, and I mean, I thought it was a lot of money, and what I hear, it's still pretty good money. And then we, you know, like I remember, you know, just, I moved to Southern California, like
Yeah.
fresh 17-year-old kid, you know, I raced the last 4 nationals, and then I as a 16-year-old, and I moved in with my mechanic as a 17-year-old. I didn't even know how to do my own laundry, you know? I remember my mom like showing me how to, okay, yeah, this is how you do your laundry. And I was just like lost, you know? And then she went back to Oklahoma, and I just like spent the next 4 months like figuring it out. And it seems like it's better now. It's just such a hard thing to figure out, like, because you're still a kid and you don't know a lot about life, and you don't have a lot of life experience. So all of a sudden you're a professional athlete, and then you've got all this money rolling in and all this new responsibility. And it's tough, man, because you kind of need your parents, but at the same time, you know, the teams and that, they kind of want to like separate a little bit. And it's hard, you know, because like, you know, my little brother's in college football, and the parents are just like, they go from high school football where they're like, they are in everything. Parents are talking to the coaches. And then, you know, it's like, we went and dropped them off at college, and you get like an update email, you know, like every week or whatever. And that's it, you know, and you go and you cheer from the sidelines, where, you know, our sport as a 16-year-old kid, you can't even rent your own car. So you need your parents, but it just gets really sticky, you know, because you need that support, but at the same time, you also need to try to become your own individual. And I feel like in that time, things got pretty sticky with a lot of different guys.
Yeah. Did you feel a lot of pressure as like in that exact moment of time where your mum's leaving and you're like, you know, even I think about like, where's the money go? Like, do you just have like a checking account that's getting like 40 grand a month put in it, and then like every month you're like, like, what is going on here? You know, like I can imagine that's because you spend your life thinking that's what you want and that's what you're like working towards, but then there's like literally a day where it's like, okay, I'm getting paid on like the 15th, and then it's the 15th again, and you're just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's odd, you know, and I was pretty naive to it, you know. I remember like asking my mom, hey, you know, I'd really like to buy a van, you know, like, you think I could buy like this used van? And she's like, yeah, you can buy a van. Like, and then, you know, we went and like paid cash for it or whatever. But it's odd, and it opens a whole new world of like problems too, you know, because you all of a sudden you're in this, like, you go from like your family scraping by, just acquiring so much debt just to race on the weekends as an amateur. And then it's like, okay, now you enter this high tax bracket. And so you've got to think about just paying taxes. And it's like, you're like, how much of my money is going to the government? It's like I remember writing those quarterly checks going like, wow, it's so there's a whole new set of problems that come with the making all that money, because it's just stuff you don't think about when you don't have a lot of cash flow. But it's an odd experience, and something that I wish there was a more of a kind of school to go to, a little bit of mentorship that you could plug into. And I know a lot of guys have their agents and that kind of thing, but I wish there's some kind of organization that could go, hey, we know what you're going through right now, and it's a bit of a whirlwind. Let's help you along, try to make those steps. So, because it's a lot,
Yeah. And how did you feel about it when you were in it? Like, do you remember feeling any type of way? Like, was there a lot of pressure? Because like, man, I could imagine so many ways where it goes, where it's like, I don't even want to think about it. I just want to think about my writing. Or it's like, that's this massive distraction. So then you're like, okay, I need to get this taken care of so I can concentrate. Or did you feel pressure? Like, because I feel one of the things that I felt when I started making a little bit more money was like, when you got nothing to lose, And then once you start making a little bit more money, you're like, oh, like I could actually lose all this now,
Yeah, I think it didn't hit me, because at first it was just cool, I'm just thinking, wow, man, I'm 16 and wow, I just signed this contract. It just all seemed so surreal. Like, it didn't make much sense to me. Like, I don't think I was computing what was happening. And then I think, I won my championship, and then I bought this property, and then it became like there's a tangible thing, like there's the money in the account was kind of like this like magical thing sitting over here. And then it, like, when I bought my property, it was like, wow, there's this mountain to kind of manage and take care of. And that's when it became overwhelming to me. And all of a sudden I was like, wow, I've got to keep this up. And it became a lot. But before that point, it was just like, oh, there's this magical land of money sitting in an account somewhere. And it didn't seem real almost, and that definitely, a lot of pressure came with that property.
Yeah. No, I can imagine, man. So switch gears a little bit. You're testing today. I myself, I don't mind messing with some clickers. So what were you working on today?
Yeah, we're doing some mapping stuff with the 250.
Okay.
We've got the get system there, so playing with that a little bit, which was fun. Like, it was really cool messing around with that, and having the support from the get guys. And I enjoy the 250, man. It's so fun to ride. So it's a little bit difficult to test sometimes, especially mapping, because the 450, you can go 5% here and 5% there, and it's a big difference, where the 250, 5% is not really like a huge change a lot. But today we made a lot of changes, and it was fun because you could feel the difference, and then I felt like it was a lot of progress, so it was cool.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.